Um, in lieu of getting you back on the phone and boring the car out of you, I thought I'd just try to record a quick video that you could take a look at, maybe even pass around to folks. We threw together some stuff. This is running on my local computer. It's a widget that we've got, um, and the the essence of it is, and we sort of racked our brains on what to what to show because we have a bunch of underlying models that can be mixed and matched to do things. And running models and watching it run sort of doesn't do anything. So then how to show it, a model being used. Lots of different ways to do it. But we thought one of them is just to use these couple of widgets that we've got here that allow somebody to visualize a what if. So the underlying models are they're generalized additive models, which are often referred to as GAMs, and then explainable boosting machines in it on top of that, and all that's a bunch of jargon. But we usually use that and boosted trees in combination. And I can explain all this to you one day. But then what that allows though is these models are what's called glass box, as opposed to black box, so that you can actually move levers after the model ex post after the model's been estimated, and you can see, you can actually ask what if questions. And that may not be a big deal to you, but it's actually something that most models can't do. So you have to a bit of expertise that goes into it to figure out how you craft models that can be what's called counterfactuals. You can ask what if questions about things that actually didn't happen in the data. So, for instance, here's a model for loan approval. The widget's a little hokey, but it's just to show that there's to show how things could be interacted in, and I don't know exactly how like it could be put into your platform. And I'm not suggesting this widget is. It's just that this gives a way of showing what's capable. One could go and take loan amounts, and if you see that there's a decision here, the decision is over the threshold, and we've made the threshold artificially 50. It could be something else in the model, just in case. In this case, it is. And one can move hypothetical values and see how the decision changes. And the you can, just by just using this, you can also, by the way, say that you can only move, at most so many values. You could change. I don't know. I'll just move around. You get the idea. You could, you know, mm, make change purposes up. Um, change the repayment period, debt to income ratios, and it'll show you how moving these variables would affect the decision. And you can make multiple different plans, save those plans, regenerate it, etc. It's just the whole point of it is that using the underlying models, you have lots of flexibility how you display it, and people can use it. We've seen it in other ways. This is just one of the widgets that we've used, but you can change levers in the model, give salespeople or um, potential purchasers ability to move the models and display it in lots of different ways. So if you want to we actually use this ourselves. You can get at the underlying models. Yeah, I'm going to refresh because I was playing with this earlier. Um, so this is our AVM, and you can go through any of don't worry about the importance here at the moment, but this changes depending on we if we re-estimated, all these numbers will change along with anyway. So the what you can get is you can choose um, a this is broken up between continuous features or variables and categorical, and then there's the interaction terms, because you can do if, when you do the tests, the theoretical statistical tests, you find that there are interactions, and you throw a bunch of stuff in. You remove interactions that don't make sense because they don't have high enough p-values, for instance. But you keep the ones that remain. Let me see. Let me find a good basement square footage. One of the things you can do is you can do a what if. You can select a piece, take it and say, and take a look at all the things like the confusion matrix, et cetera, and just see what happens here. It's actually not doing much. Um, but you can select and move around um, the features. And this is a big stair step. So this is the model output score by by path. You can see that it's a stair step function, that kind of thing. Above ground square footage change. I wanna move it right at the hub. I should be able to get moved. I mean, get small accuracy differences, etc. Anyway, the point is we can do this with different models. You get you can again do what if analysis, which is fun sometimes. Like I said, we use it, and just shows what would happen if these sections of data were otherwise, etc. Anyway, let's see. In lieu of these are Visual Studio Codes. This is our macroeconomic forecasting model, which drives all of the underlying behavioral models like prepayment default, loss given default. They all get driven by the macroeconomic forecast, of course. And these macroeconomic forecasts can be, some of them are done down to the CBSA level, which are there's 365 CBSAs in the country, geographic. Oh, great! Now I got my Fred key in there. Let's don't use my Fred key. Uh, anyway, so this is pretty big, and this is with a holdout sample from just pre-COVID. So the forecast period is the last couple years, just so you can do an in-sample forecast so you can get an accuracy. And this is just an example of what happens in the modeling process and what's available should anybody like a regulator or a compliance manager want to see. This is just the standard, what we do as modeling, and then we would deliver to folks that want to come behind the model and test it and see whatever. These are all generated as output. So these, if you're not familiar, this is we do this in a notebook format where you actually can run these cells, and what you see is the output of the cell. So this is the trending and the seasonality and the residual. If it makes any sense to you, this is the underlying series. You got a trend, you got some seasonality, you've got the residual, and that's one of the things. Anyway, um, this is the autocorrelation factors. You want to make sure that you want to test for autocorrelation, etc. Augmented Bicky Fuller. This is just I'm just giving you a flavor of the comprehensiveness that the models would we do when we do these models. You do often do you do it in difference and log differences. These are the inputs. This model happens to be GDP. We've got them for interest rates. We've got model. We've got um, count curves, house prices. I'm just going to causality tests. Okay, so we do it in three flavors: VAR, VECM, and Varma. You don't have to worry about what they are necessarily, but you start off, you estimate the VAR, you get the forecast versus actuals, etc., and we can break it up into all different types of sub forecasts. And anyway, then this is the VECM, which is a vector error corrector model. Again, but this is this is a co-integration test to see if the series are co-integrated. You don't want that. You gotta correct for that. Sorry for all this. This is just all model output, but it's the kind of it just gives you a flavor. I don't want to run this. I ran this earlier today, and if you would it would take I don't know 45 minutes to run the whole thing. That's if all the data is present, and you um, I just want to give you a flavor of what would happen, what it looks like if bless your heart you had to sit through us actually running this model. This is the kinds of things you get as output. Like I said, this stuff right here is what comes out of here. I'm going to keep going. Oh man, I'm already at 9 minutes. Okay, so the point is we have three different flavors of just this underlying economic series models. Like I said, the VAR, VECM, and Pharma models. Anyway, okay, I wanted to get one more thing before this thing gets absolutely totally ridiculous. And let me see if I got it because We talked about it. Oh yeah, here. Um, the importance of using um, this is a an automatic redaction model, and I'm going to replace. Um, it- this is showing. I put this text in here. We can change it to anything. Change it to my dog's name. It will run again. Um, and um, running pretty quickly. And what it does is it basically it's an automatic redactor. This is a machine learning model, and there's lots of different models that we can use behind the scenes, but effectively it takes whatever you put into it, and it will redact. Um, will do lots of different things. If you want it to highlight, it'll do it. Um, and then it also will output it as a table so you can save it if you want, or if it happens to be in pure format, it will simply encrypt it, encrypt the pieces that you don't want. The point is that it seemed to be that document management and encryption seem to be one of the things that you're concerned about, and I just wanted to show very quickly that there are lots of great ways to skin that cat. So anyway, um, this is now going on for like 12 minutes. I apologize. Hopefully, I can get this thing to you. I just wanted to give you a little bit of example of the kinds of things that we have available that we can discuss. You can take a look at it and probably have 1,000 questions, and then we can get back together and think about it. Thanks.